Hey everyone, a massive welcome to Connect Group tonight. We're so excited to have Dr. Gordon Moore with us again at Connect Group. So wherever you're watching from, we just want to welcome you. And I'm so glad that you're with us. If it's your first time at Connect Group, a huge welcome. And tonight we're going to be talking about one of Dr. Gordon's books, Tell Your Story, Sharing Your Faith. A real awesome book about equipping people to share their story of what God's done in their life. And Dr. Gordon, I wonder if you could share with us, why is the message of this book important for now?
Well, number one, the Great Commission commands us to go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature, to every person. Right? So the Great Commission has become the Great Omission. So I go to churches, I visited churches. They didn't see anyone saved for like a year because they're not preaching the gospel. So that's number one. Number two, I think there's a lot of intimidation come against the church in the last, say, 10 years, worse than any before. It's always been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with, like for instance, California just passed a law, or they're passing a law, to ban the sale of Bibles in bookshops because it contains hate speech. So now that puts Christians like being intimidated on the back foot. But this is not new. The worst thing that'll happen to you now is you'll get cancelled. From what?
Yeah.
I mean, well, who cares who cancels me?
Yeah.
God's not going to cancel me.
Come on.
Early church, you preached the gospel, you got crucified. Okay, so cancel, crucified.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Just pointing it out.
Yeah,
but,
so true.
But the point is, the importance of evangelism is huge because it's never changed.
That's right.
And we've got, what, nearly 9 billion people in the world now, approaching 9 billion. And just every, 30 seconds, someone's born. And they don't know Jesus.
That's right.
So we need the church to be mobilised.
Amen.
And when it says go into all the world, it doesn't mean me or you, it means everybody. So if we all go into our world,
Yes.
which makes up the world, we can preach the gospel, you know.
Yeah, so true. I wonder, can you give us some handles on how people can share their story and look for windows of opportunity to do that? Because I think you're right. In the world we live in, there's so much intimidation. And I think it's interesting. I was talking to someone recently. The full process behind, like, we know we should do something, but we don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I wonder, can you give us some handles on how could someone start with that this week?
Sure. Have you ever gone to buy a shirt?
Yeah.
And you go into the shop and no one comes to you.
Yeah.
And you're going through the rack of shirts going, buying signals.
Yeah.
And Cheryl's behind the counter. I know. And then she puts the phone down, looks and goes, do you need help? No, you couldn't help me if I paid you.
Yeah.
Right?
So true. Yeah.
So one day, my wife and I went to this conference to attend. I wasn't the speaker or anything. Second night, the convener of the conference comes to me and says, Gordon, one of our speakers is sick. Could you speak tomorrow for us in one of the main sessions? Okay. Yep, sure. What do you want me to do? Well, here's a brief on that. So I went home and my wife, bless my wife, she says, you're not getting up to preach like that, because I just went to be a delegate.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty big conference. She said, you need to go in town and buy yourself a decent shirt and maybe a jacket, like a casual.
Yeah, sure.
Something, just so you're up at that. Yeah, sure. So I go into the shop, I walk in the door, and this young woman comes to me. Hi. As soon as I walked in the store, hi. My name's Sue. Your name? Oh, Gordon. Oh, and Gordon, what are you here to do? I said, well, I'm at a conference and I've got to speak and I need a good shirt and I'll need a jacket. Okay, she says, let's look at shirts, and I'm by this rack here. And she says, do you travel a lot? And I said, yeah, I do. Yeah, I travel actually quite a bit and I speak all over the world. She said, you don't need those shirts. They're like a cotton, cheap cotton, they'll crush. She said, come over here, I'll show you these shirts. She said, is it for business or pleasure? I said, well, a bit of both. Yeah. She said, okay, so maybe this here. And you'd be a large, maybe a size whatever neck. And I'm going, yeah. And she says, and looking at the colour of your skin, she says, probably navy or a black or, you know, something like that. Would that? Yeah. Then she gets two shirts, a black one and a navy one, and puts them here. She says, now look at a jacket. Do you want formal, casual, semi? I said, oh, semi, you know, up, but not, I don't want a suit, but I don't. How this? You'd be a size 40, you know. How's that? Perfect. I bought two shirts. I bought a jacket, and she says, have you got a pair of pants to match it? I bought a pair of dress jeans. It cost me, I don't know, $300. I come home with about a $500 bill to the thing and a big bag. And my wife said, I sent you out to get a shirt and a jacket. What have you got? You buy the whole shop. I said, you will not believe this woman who served me. I couldn't say no. Here's my point. Too many Christians are like Cheryl on the phone. They're unprepared. They have no story to tell, even though they do, but they haven't prepared it. That second woman had prepared that. That was rote.
Yeah.
But she just, and she asked questions that were not yes, no answers. She didn't go, can I help you? No. You know, that awkward moment.
Yeah.
She said, do you want the shirt for business or pleasure? I can't say no.
Yeah.
I go, both.
Yeah. Open-ended, yeah.
Okay, so unchurched people eventually are going to ask us, oh, I heard you go to church. What's that about? Okay. 1 Peter 3:18, I think it is. Be ready always to give an answer for the reason of hope that lies within you. Okay. Be ready means be prepared. Reason is the Greek word logic.
Yeah.
Be ready with a logical answer. So in my book, I show people how to write their story in a logical way and memorize it.
So good.
Right? And so you're ready.
Yeah.
So your next part of that question was handles.
Yeah.
So what do? You go, hi Junior, I want to share my testimony. Do you know I've been, and you're like, oh. Okay. Okay, what we found was this. Acts of kindness open doors of opportunity. And what I found is acts of kindness, and I talk a lot about it in my book, occur every day. At work, just take work. Someone's had a birthday. Someone's had a death. Someone's had a birth of a baby. Someone got engaged. Someone got promoted. Step out every day. Give them gifts. And you will find as you do acts of kindness, in other words, just a little thing that just, people are going to go, why are you doing this? Now I'm ready.
Yeah.
I've got an answer. And I teach people to say something like this. People say, I heard you go to church, Junior. What's that about? You know, Bob, it's hard to believe that I go to church because you know what? I used to be just like you. I was brought up in a heathen home. I had no Christian background. But one day, someone told me about Jesus and I felt this drawing to accept Christ. You know, maybe Bob, one day over a cup of coffee, we could talk about it in more depth. How do you like your coffee? So that's not an opportunity to give them Genesis to Revelation. It's the moment, the handle, it's the moment to open the opportunity, and then you sow the story.
Yeah, so good. That's incredible. That's so helpful. We're going to take time to discuss this. I think that's so powerful. The proverb says, the world of the generous gets larger and larger, and the world of the stingy gets smaller and smaller. So let's keep being people that are generous, as Dr. Gordon has said, and there'll be big opportunities as we continue to be faithful in the small and generous in the small, and those opportunities and windows are going to open up for us as a community. And so we're going to take time and pray. Now I'm going to pass it back to the leaders. But come on, wherever you're at, can we just put our hands together and let's just thank Dr. Gordon for his incredible ministry for us as a church. And God bless you guys, and we'll see you again at our next Connect Group.
Yes.